Well, hi guys. Good morning. Happy Monday. We are so excited that you are with us and that we are with you. Yesterday was Mother's Day. I started to say yesterday was Monday, but it was not Monday. Yesterday was Mother's Day. So if you guys were our mothers,
Hey Liz, I think we lost them, right? Or is it just me?
Yeah, no, right. You're right.
Okay.
how's that for magic, right? We'll figure it out. Anywho, as I was saying, Zach is plugging in the computer because sometimes that's important too. When you're doing a podcast. But anyway, so happy Monday. Happy Mother's Day yesterday to all of you moms out there. Happy birthday to me on Saturday. You should sing to me on this thing.
No.
Yeah, you should. But anyway, thanks for joining us. While I continue to, I know Liz is laughing at me. While I continue to ad lib, Zach is logging us back in from a computer. So today's question of the day is how do I max out productivity as an entrepreneur? Step number one is you plug in your computer because that is a very important thing for you all to do. I'm going to hang up because I think we're almost joined on the other one and you don't want to hear my
This is great.
say hi.
This is our morning,
Here we are.
guys.
Okay.
This is our morning. Unmute.
Okay. So now we are officially underway. So just to tell you about our morning, we flew out of Hartford, Connecticut and just flew into Charleston. And we got here about 3 minutes before we had to turn on our podcast. So Sorrel was poised and ready to step in just in case, but I told him we needed a cape today, and apparently we needed to charge our computer too. So how do we max out productivity as an entrepreneur?
Well, I think it all starts with identifying, what it means to be an entrepreneur. You're going to work harder for yourself. If you haven't heard this, you will many, many times. You're going to have to work harder for yourself than you ever would for anyone else. So, especially when you're starting out, I think that's what we've talked to a lot of people recently about the need to make more money. With inflation the way that it is, and with income not rising to keep up with that, and those kind of things, we've identified in all of the retirement planning scenarios that we're dealing with that most people don't have trouble managing their money. They have trouble making enough money. They just don't make what they need to in order to get ahead financially. So a lot of people are starting out into the entrepreneurial space, even if they have a W-2 job or they're employed by someone else. They're starting, even the side hustle, right? I saw a meme the other day talking about unemployment being low, and the person on the other side of that conversation said, "Yeah, I know. There's plenty of jobs. I have 3 of them, and I still can't pay my bills." And the reality of that is that we spend a lot of time focused on managing our money or making it go farther, but we need to spend more time on how do we make more money. If we are already in our own space, an entrepreneurial space, or own our own business, then how do we manage that, grow that, make that into a profitable enterprise? And so that's what we want to talk about this morning, is how do we maximize our productivity as an entrepreneur? What can we do to do that? And I think it goes in 3 different phases, and we'll kind of break it down like this. First thing you need to do is manage your time well. Manage your time very well using multiple different tools, and we'll talk about that. The second thing you want to do is maximize your efforts, and we'll break that down in just a minute too. And then finally, you want to multiply your time by many different other things. So let's start first with managing time. What would we do to manage time?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, great conversation. People ask us all the time, they're like, I have no idea how you guys do everything that you do. And I'm like, I don't even understand what you're talking about because it's just our life, right? But I can tell you that one of the biggest tools that we have ever used to manage our time is our calendar. So if you guys are like us, obviously we all have calendars, but I live and die by my calendar. And my calendar is in my phone, right? I have an iPhone, so it's just the Apple calendar inside the phone. And we have multiple calendars. We have a family calendar that all of our kids are connected on. Remember, we've got 4, so that's lots of activities, especially when they were all at home. And then we've got our work calendar that Zach and I share back and forth, so we know who's where and who's on appointments and what that looks like. And then we have all the multiple sports calendars and things like that with all of our kids. But I always told all of the girls, I said, hey, listen, if it's not my calendar, it's not happening. So if it's a sleepover, if it's an event that you want to go to, if it's something that's important to you, it has to be in my calendar. And I think because we were so busy, right? We were so busy running businesses and also raising our kids that it had to be somewhere, sometimes even like dinging at me, like reminding me 30 minutes before, 15 minutes before, okay, it's actually go time in our calendar. But we were so busy, we had to literally know where we were going to be every second of the day. And our kids have really picked up that habit too. Like if you look at their calendars, whether it's the paper calendar that they keep or their iPhone calendars, like it's pretty obsessive. So I would tell you that step one is manage your calendar. Make sure that your calendar, has all of your daily activities in that, because it's important. When you go from employee to entrepreneur, I think that's one of the biggest shifts that any of us have going from employee to entrepreneur is understanding how to do things when you don't have someone managing your time, right? Because as an employee, our time is usually managed. As an entrepreneur, every day is a weekend, right? Like we can do whatever we want. We can have these amazing lunches. We can go on the boat. We can go out and stay out late and sleep in if we want to. Like every day is our opportunity to do things like that. So we have to be really good at managing our time and managing our calendar to make sure that we stay productive. I would say that's probably a huge trap that we've seen in our business through the years, with people that have transitioned from employment to entrepreneur. And sometimes they go back to being an employee because they can't manage their time. It's interesting. But it's it's a skill we haven't been taught. So I would say, that's step one is become obsessive about your calendar and put all your stuff in there.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to working harder for yourself than you would for anyone else. You have to set accountability for showing up at work on time every day. If you don't leave the house, if you work entrepreneurially from home, it's going to be even more difficult to get up, get showered, get your work clothes on, get your mindset right. Other than staying in your pajamas and doing whatever and starting at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. So discipline and accountability to yourself, because that's really what's going to separate you from other people in the world that you're working in. The next thing about time, you want to go? You got
I don't know. Are you going to the next bullet point?
I don't know. It's kind of a bridge to the next bullet point, but it's about what go? What
Is
is
it?
No,
Oh,
it's not.
okay. So let me go before Zach skips forward and misses this really important
It kind of
part.
goes on to that though. I will let you go first. All right, here we
Okay,
go.
thank you. All right, and then you can bridge it back together. Okay. So another tool that we use to manage our time, to give us more productivity is this concept of mini days. I don't know if you guys have heard of a mini day, MINI, mini, like little days, right? It's something that we use in our business, and it's something that we use as a tool to success in our world, but it applies to all of us regardless of what world you're in. And so many days basically means from 12 a.m. to 7 a.m. is day one. From 7 a.m. to 3 is day two. I don't know. Anyway, what are the numbers? Do you remember?
I really couldn't tell you on the
7
clock.
to 3, 3 to 7, 7 to midnight, maybe.
Okay.
Anyway, break up your day into 3 mini days, and you have your morning, right? That's 1 mini day. You've got your lunch to afternoon, evening time that is mini day number 2, and then you've got your evening time to obviously nighttime, that's mini day number 3. But by breaking your day into those 3 little days, you have the ability to, schedule tasks and think about them differently. You get so much more done when you segment out your days and you compartmentalize them into, these 3 different areas and these 3 different sessions.
Yeah, I call it wearing different hats. So if you do have multiple businesses or you do have multiple responsibilities and you can break it down, I'm ADD, have been my whole life. I always say I was ADD when it was just BAD. And it's one of those things where if I don't completely focus in an area or it's a space on a task, then I'm all over the place. Anything that can distract me will. If it's something that I've got to get done that I don't really want to do or that I don't really enjoy, I can always find a reason to go in a different direction. So having that compartmentalized time and schedule means that when I sit down right now, I'm gonna, and this goes to another concept that I'll hit on, but I'm gonna sit down right now and I'm gonna clean out the notifications in my inbox. I'm going to make sure I respond to the people that I need to respond to and get that off my plate, and before I move on to something else. But yeah,
I found my actual mini day
you
calendar,
go.
like you guys can see this here, right? So just to clarify times, it's 7 a.m. to noon, noon to 6 p.m., and 6 p.m. to midnight. Those are the 3 days that you have inside one day. So manage your productivity during those times.
Yeah. And to piggyback on that, what I was going to say before, obviously compartmentalizing and focusing and getting tasks completed that need to be completed. Don't let a list of to-do things hang out there, because that stress is very impactful on your ability to rest, your ability to think clearly and be creative when you kick the can down the road. So make sure you get the task checked off. Along that same lines, one of the best ways I've found to be productive is to categorize things and things that need to be done into things that I need someone else to interact with me in order to make this happen. Whether it means I need a new client, I need a new person working on my website, whatever it is, things that I need to interact with someone else. I want to make sure I get those done in one of the first 2 mini days, while those encompass working hours for the normal individual. Anything that I can get done without interacting with any other person, if it's something I need to do paperwork wise on my computer, anything that I've got to do invoicing, billing, anything like that that doesn't require someone else's time, then I'm going to categorize that one into that 3rd mini day or into early morning time, where I can do those kind of things and maximize my productivity during the working hours for other folks. Now, in our business, we call the 3rd mini day, we call it prime time, because we see a lot of people when they're home from their jobs. So it's after they come home. So whatever your business is that you're in, identify that prime time where your target market, your clients, your prospects, all those people are going to be available for meeting, and make sure that you're not filling that time up with paperwork or things that could be done at a different time of day. I hope that makes sense. And that was what I wanted to do to bridge over to from managing your time to maximizing your time. So.
And so talking about maximizing your time, how can you maximize your time? We've talked about managing it. Like Zach said, you know that a calendar is key and crucial. How can you maximize your time? And maximizing your time for me means, hiring people to do the tasks that you don't have time to do, or that are labor intensive to you. So one thing, and then I'll let Zach talk about it in a second, but one thing that I think for me is really current on my mind, and something that we've done recently that's really made a big difference is, we have multiple businesses, multiple kids, crazy lives always, right? And we've always, our oldest is 23 and she's been in school since she was, I don't know, let's just say 2. So for the last 21 years, almost every single day when we're together, and when we're in town, we take our kids to school together, and we pick our kids up from school together. Like, it's just always something that we've done, something that's been really important to us. So that cuts down on our working day time, right? So when we get home at 8 and then we have to leave it at 2:30 to go pick up another kid, then you've got this brief moment of time to work and really be productive. And one of those things in there that really sucked our time and our money was lunch, because we're like, what are we going to eat? And we're starving. And we had, finally gotten into that flow state and we were fixing to have to leave. So then we would run to a restaurant like as quick as possible. Like there's one right near Harper's School, and they know when we come in that we've got about 30 minutes to scarf down a salad and then get out of there so we can make sure that we make it a carpool line. And they just kind of laugh. I'm like, one day we'll come in and just enjoy a conversation, but right now we got to go. So anyway, so one of those things for me is we started ordering these meals, not meal kits that you have to prepare, but pre-prepared meals, not like TV dinners, but good ones, healthy ones that are made by a chef, frozen, stuck in our freezer. And then at noon or 1 o'clock, I'm like, gosh, we're hungry. What should we eat? And there's nothing in the fridge or there's nothing prepared. And we don't want to just run out and, drop $100 at lunch, because lunches are expensive in Charleston.
And
we
pretty
just
much anywhere though.
we just pull out a meal out of the freezer and stick it in a skillet and heat it up, and it's great. It tastes good. It's well done. It's well prepared. I don't think I would do that if it weren't.
Yeah.
But anyway, so for us, it's allowed us to really maximize our time, and it's allowed us to delegate something that. Not that I don't enjoy cooking, because we do enjoy cooking, but from a time management perspective and also a finance perspective, that was something that I knew it would be significantly cheaper to buy these meals for lunches, and pull them out as we need them. And it allows us to have such a more efficient day, and we eat like it's kind of crazy how everything works together, right?
It is. It goes to knowing where your time goes. And I think that before you even start on this journey, you've got to take a serious look at your day and what a day in the life is like. And so that will help you to determine what time you have. And when we bring people into the insurance and financial services world on a part-time basis a lot, and they have jobs other places. And we tell them to take that mini day calendar and write everything in it that they're already obligated to do. If they're going to take their kids to school and pick their kids up, if they have certain obligations for work, when you go to work, when you're off, and then you'll see physically what free time you actually have to
your areas of opportunity, right?
Yeah, to put towards another business venture. You will see what time you have to actually work with. You'll also identify things that you can do without. And one of the things that you can watch a lot is the screen time on your phone. Now, I'm telling you right now, mine's got to be off, or it's either running when there's things in the background, because there's no way I'm on my phone as much as it says I am. So maybe somebody could shed some light on that at some point in time. But
I have to visit the Apple Store.
Yeah, but anyway, from that perspective, I would tell you that as your business grows, once you manage your time and you start to become more productive, one of the things from the maximizing your time properly category would be to delegate and to find tasks that you do. And if you're type A and you're controlling, which a lot of entrepreneurs are, and you like to do things, you don't feel like someone else can do anything in your business to the level of care that you do, understand that you reach a certain point where you've got to let go of some of that. So if there's something that you do on a daily basis, if it is something like invoicing, if it is something that can be taught, and it might be labor intensive to do that, but then you could free up that time to be more productive. So if I'm having to take valuable daytime to do certain things, run errands, deal with other businesses that I'm working with, that I like ordering, let's just say, people that are working on my social media, which I don't have. We need that, right? To grow our social media presence and do those kind of things. Some of our good friends that have been successful in growing their business on social media, that's been one of the biggest things they've done, is they've hired someone else to basically say, here, I'm going to give you the raw footage. I'm going to make videos and send them to you, and you're going to put them out when it's time, and all those kind of things. So hire people to do things that you think you might not be able to let go of. And you'll find that people that specialize in those areas actually do them better than you do. And you can work in the areas that you specialize in, like seeing your customers and taking care of them, treating them to that the way they needed to be treated. So
And it doesn't have to just be your work stuff, right? That you're delegating. It can be home stuff too. Like we have a lady that cleans our house, and it's not that I can't clean the house, it's that I would
or me.
rather you clean the house.
No, I said, or I could do
Oh.
it, you know.
He
I
does
am-
make
I
the
am
coffee.
capable.
He does make the coffee.
Yeah.
But it's not that I can't clean my house. It's just that I would, first of all, I really enjoy, number one, they're much more efficient than I am, right? But I also really enjoy coming into this clean space, and it's fresh and everything is just, it feels so amazing. But during those moments, like I would rather spend that time with my family and with my kids and, and things like that than just to be so stressed. Like I remember when they were little, every weekend, this was back when we were teaching, every weekend it was like, okay, we got to clean the house. We got to vacuum. We got to do laundry. We got to do dishes. We got to do all this stuff because that was our time that we had to clean the house. And I would much have rathered at that age of my kids to pay someone to do that so I could just go to the park and go on a picnic and things like that. And so sometimes it's not just but so you can work. Sometimes it's just a quality of life and taking care of yourself and where you would enjoy spending your time more conversation, because we all have to do that.
Yeah, and that's all part of the maximization of your time, right? So when you, as your business grows and you can afford to make different choices, I know we all have to wear multiple hats. Like I said, when we're getting started, we've got to be the delivery driver. We've got to be the person that deals with every single aspect of our business. But as it grows, you can't be afraid to reinvest in your time. That's investing in your business. If you can free up your number one most creative person, which in this case, or the person that's most valuable to your company, is probably you. If you can free you up from doing things that aren't paying money by replacing yourself with a more affordable option, it's probably more affordable to pay someone else than it is for you to lose that productive time doing that job yourself.
I think that was a really interesting tip that I read in a book. I can't remember the name of the book, but anyway, Candy Valentino is the author. What's it called? Wealth Habit?
Yes.
Wealth
think so.
Habits. But anyway, one of the things that she said in there is look at your annual income. As an entrepreneur, that might be a little harder to figure out, but you can figure it out. Look at your annual income and then look at how many hours a week you spend to make that money and divide that out and decide how much it costs you per hour to make the amount of money that you make. And if you could pay someone less than what it costs you to do it to pay yourself, then that is a task you should definitely delegate and definitely pay someone else. So I thought that was a good tip to
Determine your hourly wage basically based on your annual income, right?
yeah.
Right.
And I thought that was a great tip to just say, oh wow, that makes a lot of sense. So I thought that was a good tip.
Yeah.
There was
And
another one, but I just forgot it. What was I gonna say?
well,
You keep
there was
talking.
another, I don't remember, it was the work week, Tim Ferriss, I think is that one, but he talked about emails. And I know I have a habit. I pick up my phone. I don't get on social media and a lot anyway and scroll unless I'm sitting on an airplane, but I'll check my multiple email accounts multiple times a day. And I'm just looking. I might not even be expecting any email. I'm just looking to
It's
see
a habit.
if it's truly a habit. And it started with me making sure nobody was waiting on me, right? But what he said to do was put an autoresponder on your voicemail. You can even do it to your text messages and on your email that says, I respond to emails between these hours. If you need me be outside of that, hit me with a text message, and then leave your email closed. Then anything that's important or pressing that comes into that email, they've gotten an auto response that told them you weren't going to get back to them until whatever time. And then that allows you, like I said at the beginning of the call, to sit down and compartmentalize and clean that inbox up and respond to and deal with what you need to deal with. So make sure that you keep those distractions at a minimum from that perspective. I just wanted to hop back to that because
I think
that's a big deal.
a good tip. And then just one last thing before we go to multiplying your time from maximizing your time. I spoke with a fractional CFO at sometime within the last 6 months maybe, and just talked about growing businesses and selling businesses and an exit strategy, because all of us, I think all of us love what we do, right? We love building businesses, we love growing businesses, but at some point we got to exit, right? And if we don't exit, then we work forever. So we're really just self-employed. We don't have a business. And that's one of the things that she said specifically, as she said, you have to make yourself replaceable in your business, because if your business has to run just with you, and you do everything in your business, then there is no value there. There is nothing anyone will buy, because they can't buy you. They can't control you, right? So I thought that was really interesting. So, from bookkeeping, start there, start small with bookkeeping and managing your expenses, and then add those tasks, as your income dictates and your ability dictates. So you have value in your business. So let's talk about.
Yeah, and the last part, and we'll hit this very quickly because we're almost out of time, but it's multiplying your time. So we have managed, we have maximized, and now we want to multiply, because even if we maximize all the way through, we only have 24 hours in a day if it's just one of us. And so once we can identify what we should be doing and what we should be paying other people to do, now we know what the most profitable behavior or activity is, and that should be what I'm bringing to the table, or what you're bringing to the table in your business. So now your goal or your job should be to multiply your time by teaching others to do what you do and bringing them on board. And a lot of times you can do that from a value-based position. And so people think about bringing on salaried folks and that kind of thing. I love subcontracted people in bookkeeping and those kind of things until you need to have them on staff. But a lot of times you can build some sort of a commission structure and a value-based proposition that doesn't cost you money out of your business to bring somebody else on to help grow the flow of whatever product or whatever service you're offering. You can say, hey, this is how much we make per transaction. This is how much we make per deal or whatever. And this is what you'll make once I get you trained and get to this point, and duplicate yourself. That means that when you get to that point, you'll invest in that person up front. But when you get to that point, you'll now have 48 hours in a day instead of 24. And so that's exactly how you can now duplicate your time or multiply your time. We go back and forth between those words, but we want to multiply, not just duplicate, right? If we're just adding, then that's going to be slower. So if you can collapse time frames and you can bring on multiple people and teach them all at the same time, Chase, good to see you this morning. Then do that. So think about it again. And so we'll wrap it up with saying, and we'll go to some other conversation from you guys, but start by managing, right? And then you want to get out of the management business. Think about it and how your business grows. You want to get into the maximization. So once I can stop managing and I can start letting other people manage, right? And then I can maximize my time. And then finally, after I maximize my time and I know that I'm not going to be able to grow my business anymore, that's maxed out, then I need to multiply my time. And that's when I need to teach others to do what I'm doing. So we'll open it up for you guys. If you have questions, comments, any things that you guys have that you've had experience in your entrepreneurial life that have helped you, please share that with us.
We have time for maybe one quick share, right?
Yep. Anyone?
Or we could just say, laugh, love,
all right,
live.
Let's do it. All right, guys. Well, it's been good. I see a lot of chats popping in. So, and I know if you're on YouTube, we can't interact directly with you, but we've got a lot of people saying that was a good conversation. So I'm glad that you enjoyed it. It's been important for us to know
If
these
you
things.
don't follow us on YouTube, follow us on YouTube at the Daily Huddle.
Yep, do that.
And you want to close this out?
Absolutely. So our 8 tenets that we live by at the Daily Huddle are: number one, love. It's incredibly important for you to keep that emotion, keep that in your life. Laugh out loud. Have a good time. It's proven to make you healthier. Stress less. Stressing about things you can't control is always a waste of time. Eat mostly plant-based. Take care of your body. Know what's going in, because it helps you to do those other things. And then give of your time, give money, just give whatever you can to something that you find bigger and more valuable than just keeping it to yourself. Sleep.
I'm so excited.
Sleep.
Sleep in my bed tonight.
It's been a while. She's been on the road more than me, but we've both been moving. So, well, that's number 7. Move. Got to keep moving. So make sure no matter where you go, you get your exercise in. And finally, take that pause between stimulus and response. That's the one chance you have to make sure your reaction is the one you want to pass out to the public. So check yourself before you wreck yourself. Guys, appreciate your time. Love you, Daily Huddle family, and we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow on the Daily Huddle.
Bye, guys.